The Boost, where we're the best YouTube channel to tell you about how to grow your YouTube audience. We can't wait to tell you what's hot and popping. Last time on The Boost, we told you how to make your channel be bigger than anyone else's channel on the face of the planet. Not only that, 5 episodes ago, we talked about Minecraft and how it's the greatest game you could ever play. But 2 episodes before that, I talked about how my mom used to cook pancakes for me in the morning and they used to make me throw up.
And before we get into the content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, pin this, Twitter this. You gotta gram this, sign up for our Patreon, join the main channel members.
Now, with all that being said, let's just get right into the video.
You know what, Travis? Let's not do any of that. Let's talk about why not to do any of that.
One of the most important things in a YouTube video is the intro. It sets the pace for the entire video, also sets the expectations for the viewer. Are you making your intros wrong? Are they long and boring? Today, we're gonna teach you all the best things you can do in your intro and some of the things you should stay away from in The Boost by vidIQ. Jen, you know, I love watching YouTube in my free time, but one of the things that kind of keeps me from watching certain videos are bad intros.
It's something that every creator will do. It's inevitable, but there are definitely some really important things that you want to use as a guideline to make sure that you're just making the best intro you possibly can.
And there's certain things that some creators do that hook me for the rest of the video. And then there's certain things that some videos do that, well, I'll be honest, I stop before the intro's done.
Wait, stop, same. But I think those things can be different. I think some of those things can be personal preference, and then some of them are just like a given structural thing.
Well, let's talk about one of the things that a lot of creators do that probably is just not a good idea. Running a 15 to 30 second animated intro that doesn't add any value to the video right at the beginning of the video.
Are you kidding me? That's my favorite, Travis.
You love that? Lies.
I'm here for the branding.
I bet you know what? If you look in your analytics, my guess is, and look at your retention graph, that there's a big dip every single time you throw one of those into your video. Now, listen, sometimes they can be good. You can add value in the brandings of your channel in the intro. But if I don't know who you are, why do I want to watch a spaceship go around the moon 27 times and then go, hey, we're in Darren's basement? But the other thing that kills me is the energy of the intro video sometimes not matching the energy of the creator. You ever see that?
Like where it's super hype in the beginning and then it's like super monotone.
I love those. It's like boom, cha, boom, cha, boom, cha, boom, cha.
Yeah.
Hey guys, today on my Minecraft channel. Like, whoa, bro, hold on.
Like they recorded their intro after like 6 cups of coffee and then just was like, it's perfect.
Right. Like I'm hyped. I'm like,
yeah. And then their branded intro and then they didn't set the expectations. So bye-bye.
For me, I just want to understand what I'm getting from the video in the first 15 seconds. There's a concept here that I really want to talk about with you, Jen, about buying time. I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about this before.
Buying time? Tell me more.
All right. The concept is simple. If you click on a video and you have a general concept of what it is this video is going to be about, but I don't know you as a creator, I'm looking for a reason to leave. If in the first 10 to 15 seconds you hook me enough, you've bought some time from me. I'm going to watch a little bit longer. And then once that time goes away, if you've hooked me again, I'm going to watch even longer. So you're buying time from the viewer. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I like the mentality of like, you're kind of looking for a reason to leave. There's not a trust built yet. You're not part of their community. You can't expect someone to just stay.
Yeah, and sometimes people will talk about what happened in the previous video. I think it's super important to understand that not everyone watches every single one of your videos. So talking about, hey, remember in the last video I did this thing? No, they didn't see it. So no, they don't remember.
There's a right and a wrong way to do a recap. You need to treat each video as if anyone can watch it being the first video they've ever seen, but some people need to be like caught up if this is something that is important for this video to make sense. So it's a complicated one. It's a tricky one, but it's also like super simple at the same time.
Just like Jen said, there are great ways of doing this. For example, you can say something like, well, in our last video, we told you how to get the best gun ever in Call of Duty. This video, we're going to teach you how to use that gun and get the most kills ever. Like that makes sense. That's a call to action.
1 to 2 sentences. You don't need more than that. That's what I try to just generalize for people. 1 to 2 sentences done well, you can catch people up. You want to have overlay footage, that's totally fine. It just enhances the retention for the beginning of the video. Like Travis said before, when you just have like an empty, like, remember last time when we were in my garage basement doing a bunch of toy building?
I love the garage basement idea because I don't think there's such a thing, but we definitely need to get hashtag garage basement going in the comment section.
So 1 to 2 sentences for the recap still allows you to kind of be in the general frame guideline, suggested time of 15 seconds seconds for your intro. Could be less, could be more. This is your creative decision, but like 15 seconds is just use that as your aid.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is the metrics in YouTube will help you decide whether or not these are good ideas. It does tell you in the first 30 seconds how many people watched the intro and how many people you lost. You should look at that. And as a matter of fact, as a good rule of thumb, if you're getting, a couple thousand views, try to keep that around 70% or better that are still retained after 30 seconds. Now, if you're ending up getting hundreds of thousands or millions of views, that will drop because it's going to start showing it to more people. What I've seen on the vidIQ channel is, as videos are in the under 100,000 view stage, getting it around 70% is really good. Once you get into the million view stage, I mean, you're usually around the 60% after 30 seconds. Again, that's because it's being shown to more people who don't know you, and that is good. Sometimes you'll see channels, especially bigger channels, tease the climax of the video in the first couple of seconds of a video. And this helps buy you time. As we talked about before, you're trying to buy time from the viewer. This lets them know that A, you're going to do what you said you did in the title and thumbnail, and B, gets them excited to watch how that build-up happened.
I think it's really exciting when we see those clips of like total failure. Like we're watching some kind of spectacle-based something and we see the ending clip is like, oh no, and like things are falling apart. Of course you want to watch that. You want to see what's about to go down. You want to see what's going to break and fall apart. That's what we're here for, the entertainment, the stakes. So choosing those clips is super important too. And picking the wrong ones is just obviously not going to accomplish the same thing. That's like a whole other thing in itself. What clips do you pick that highlight your storytelling for your video? One thing to do to just better help you organize your intro is to script that opening hook. So knowing the order of things that we should work in, which is the idea, the title, thumbnail, we want to script that opening hook. Even if you're an unscripted channel, even if you're a vlog channel, knowing how you're going to open the video is not going to be, scripted, crazy content that's off brand for you. But what it is going to do is it's going to make sure that it's playing into what that title and thumbnail are setting expectations for. That's your third opportunity right there to have that third reason why someone should keep watching your video, and then just keep going as planned. It's not hard. It's just that one thing. Just script that one thing.
And remember, someone clicked on your thumbnail and title with an expectation, so make sure to meet or exceed that expectation within the first couple of seconds. That's what an intro is for. While calls to actions do work, putting them in your intro is one of the worst things you can do. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment below. So some things to remember in your intro. Meet and exceed the expectation of the thumbnail and title. Don't over-explain your previous videos.
And most importantly, don't use that precious time in the beginning for call to actions like, comment, subscribe, join my Patreon, visit my website, sign up for my free webinar. We don't need that in the beginning. We need the content in the beginning.
If you like that, we have other videos just like this here on the channel. Make sure you check it out, and we'll see you next time.